Harry's wife. Peace? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. At the moment, there is a kind of war that's going on involving the royal family. On the one hand, you have the Duke and Duchess of Overseas that continue, as a consequence of their necessity to assert control, manage their facade, to draw money, which is a residual benefit, of course, throwing pelters at the royal family, dining out on the only thing which makes them of substance, as we know. Harry, from what Spare has told us, seems to be at his most content and happiness when he's getting his hands dirty. Unfortunately, at the moment he's getting his hands dirty by making mud pies and slinging them at his family. But ordinarily, if he's getting down to something practical, whether it was his tours of duty in Iraq and Afghanistan, even though they were cut short, where he was learning about certain things which were practical in nature, whether it was helping the elephants out in Botswana or being involved in charities in Lesotho, whether he was involved in basically rolling up his sleeves and getting his hands dirty. That's what brought him happiness. Instead, the miserable, angry-looking, red-faced prince is currently engaged in a form of war with his relatives, driven, of course, by his blindness to his wife's behaviours and the fact that he has been indoctrinated into her cult to believe that she's right and everybody else is wrong. She, of course, puppets him from behind the scenes, causing him to engage in these self-destructive acts and become an international laughingstock. On the other hand, are all the other members of the royal family: the King, the Prince and Princess of Wales, Princess Anne, Prince Edward, Sophie, Countess of Wessex, and beyond, who have all maintained, to a large part, a stony silence, not reacting to the Duke and Duchess of Overseas pantomime activities, which is the most appropriate thing to do, because, of course, Harry's wife is stamping her cloven hoof, wanting that attention, and therefore it infuriates her all the more not to be given it. But, of course, following the various interviews that Harry has undertaken, flying solo, of course, although told what he has to say, and, of course, the release of Spare, we have on the horizon King Charles III's coronation. And many people still maintain that the title should be stripped from the Sussexes and they shouldn't be involved in the coronation. Naturally, there is a need to avoid that the Sussexes overshadow the coronation, which of course is something that Harry's wife will want because it has to be all about her, because she's far more important than anybody else on the planet. Of course, Prince Charles, a narcissist himself, wants to quash any threats to his control and ensure that there isn't any kind of pantomime and circus associated with his coronation, something he has waited decades for. He, of course, operates in a different way to Harry's wife. He doesn't turn on the waterworks in the way that she does. He's more dismissive, colder with regard to his behaviours. Nevertheless, he still maintains a facade and wants to be seen to do the right thing. But what is the right thing? Is the right thing to extend one of those ubiquitous olive branches and try and make peace beforehand? Or would the better route be to keep them at distance? My observation would be, don't offer the olive branch. By allowing her in, it shows weakness. By allowing her in, it provides her and him with another opportunity to leverage matters for the purposes of either pity plays, nobody spoke to us when we were at the coronation, Yahoo sucks, they're all horrible, and of course to make more money by selling it and perhaps bringing out another buck in relation to my big buck of coronation boo-hoos by Ginger Prince, and then she can do a companion piece. I fell to the floor crying every single day because of the way I was treated at the King's coronation. The better approach would be to either invite them, but stick them in row Z, so that they are given clearly a signal as to what people think about them. It will, of course, wound her, and the answer is, you're private citizens, you're not royals. Or to not invite them at all and leave them be. Leave them overseas, grumbling and whining, as they basically, like two Duracell bunnies, eventually run out of steam, because people will become bored about their victim narrative and their inaccurate racial baiting. The most appropriate thing to do with them is to continue to ignore them and not have them at the event. The majority of people would see this as a good thing, to my mind, that it's strong response, that it's not allowing them to think that they're bigger than the coronation, which of course Harry's wife believes that she is. But GB News tells us Harry's wife and Kate set for face-to-face peace talks over fears royal circus to overshadow coronation. Down Falvey writes, consorts to the king preparing to set up talks to give the royals a chance to clear the air. Palace aides are planning for a peace summit between Harry's wife and Princess Kate in a bid to end royal rows before the king's coronation, it has been claimed. Royal insiders are said to fear the important constitutional moment in May risks becoming a circus if they cannot find a way to bring peace between the Sussexes and the Waleses. Prince Harry has said he wants an apology for his wife in order to reconcile with the royal family. See parts pass him. Consorts to the king are reported to now be preparing to set up talks to help the royals have the chance to clear the air. A summit would first take place between the king, William and Harry before a face-to-face meeting of Kate and Harry's wife. I think they should revolve this basically by getting in a boxing ring. I'd happily pay good money to watch Catherine bounce Harry's wife all over a boxing ring. And ultimately, the king could sit to one side while William and Harry duke it out, undoubtedly breaking another necklace, and they could shove a dog bowl under Harry each time he falls to the canvas to ensure that he breaks it. It's going to take flexibility on all sides, but it can be done. It's fixable, a source told the Sunday Times. It needs Harry over here, in the room with the King and Prince of Wales, a couple of other family members, some of his people he trusts who always had his back, so he doesn't think he's being ambushed. I say, you get Harry over here and you stick him in a room with Princess Anne, and she says, "Now, you snivelling little dog turd, what on earth have you been doing and playing at? First of all, I'm going to deprogram you. See this great big barrel of iced water? You're going in it, ginger bollocks, and you're not coming out until those pink pods have shriveled right up inside you like a sumo wrestler. Got it? Good. In you go, you whinging pods." And I'm pretty sure that Princess Anne would beat the crap and the nonsense and the word salad out of him. Meanwhile, of course, Harry's wife is ultimately irrelevant, and a good bouncing around the canvas by Catherine and the subsequent humiliation would have her scuttling back under a rock for a period of time. The source added, both sides need to hold their hands up and admit we didn't get everything right and we got a lot wrong, and we have to say to him, we understand the pain you've been through. The king can do that. No. Instead, they'll say, you've told us repeatedly about all of the nonsense, we're sick of hearing it, we're not entertaining any more of it, you either come and sit in Rose Ed or you don't come. We're not having peace talks with you, we're not indulging you any further. That would be the approach that I would adopt with them. The source said that the meeting would need to be done in the next 3 months in order to allow time for Kate and Harry's wife to then meet before the May the 6th coronation. We've got to move on it and get it done by April. Then we need to get the wives in, they said. The king needs a clear run for the coronation. A second insider added, they have to invite them in before the coronation or it becomes such a circus and distraction. No, it won't. Just don't allow them to come. They don't deserve to, and they can whinge all they like from overseas. Prince Harry made a series of criticisms of Kate and William in his memoirs, including accusing them of being cold towards Harry's wife and of failing to welcome her to the family, notwithstanding him saying that he was concerned about the fact that they'd be haranguing her for autographs because they're huge fans of Suits. So which one is it, Harry? Were they cold or were they going to harangue her? It just shows what a load of bullshit your wife pumps out and that you regurgitate on her behalf. Prince Harry also revealed a tense exchange between his wife and his sister-in-law, which he said led to Harry's wife crying. See parts pass him, her tears flooding Monty Shit Show. Defending his attacks on the monarchy, Harry said in an interview yesterday that he doesn't want to see the end to the royal family. He said this is not about trying to collapse the monarchy, this is about trying to save them from themselves. See my observations about that comment also. These two should not be indulged. If an invitation is to be extended to them, it should make it clear that they're not getting any special treatment and they're in Rose Ed. And if they don't want that, then they can look petty for refusing it. Or alternatively, don't invite them. NFA them, like everybody else is doing, and then let them whinge from afar. The king can have a quick, clear run at the coronation without them being there. It'd be a lot easier than having them come, because what he's failing to appreciate is, even if you have a sit-down and discussion beforehand, that's not going to sort it all out. It'll just lead to more demands from Harry's wife because she'll sense that there's weakness in terms of giving into what she wants. So all she'll do is turn up and make the coronation all about her anyway. You're better off ensuring that she doesn't come in the first place, or that she's stuck in a broom cupboard behind a candle. I'm H.D. Tudor. Thank you for listening.